What if almost everything you were taught about money was, well, not quite right? That's the whole idea behind Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's the story of two fathers, one who played by all the rules and struggled, and another who basically wrote his own rules and built an empire. It's all about the mindset that separates the two. Does this question kinda hit home for you? Is that feeling right? Being stuck in what they call the rat race. You're working harder and harder, but you feel like you're not getting any closer to where you want to be financially. So we're going to dive into why that happens and, more importantly, how to start breaking that cycle. All right, so at the center of this whole thing are two main figures. The poor dad was the author's actual father, a super smart, highly educated guy with a good, stable job. But despite all that, he was always just kind of struggling with money. Then there was the rich dad. This was his best friend's father, an entrepreneur who had a totally different kind of education. One taught him how to work for money. The other taught him how to make money work for him.
So, how can two people have such completely different financial lives? Well, it really all starts with how they look at the entire purpose of education.
And here it is, the fundamental split in their thinking. Poor dad's advice is what we all hear, right? Study hard, get good grades, so you can become a valuable employee at a good company. It's all about job security. Rich dad's advice just flips that completely on its head. He says, study hard to understand this system of money itself. See, this path isn't about getting a job. It's about being able to create them. And this really gets to the core criticism in the book. Our schools are fantastic at teaching us how to work for money, but they leave us almost completely unprepared to actually manage it. We learn how to earn a paycheck, but we have basically no idea how to make that paycheck grow all by itself. Okay, so this brings us to probably the most powerful and practical lesson from Rich Dad. If you want to build wealth, you have to learn to speak the language of money. And it all starts with just two simple but crucial words: assets and liabilities. The definition is just beautifully simple. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. That's it. Think of it like a little money-making machine you own, maybe a rental property bringing in rent, or stocks paying dividends. It's something that works for you even when you're not working. And the flip side? A liability. That's anything that takes money out of your pocket. It's a constant cash drain, like a car payment or that credit card debt that just keeps growing. The only thing that matters is which way the cash is flowing. And look, once you get this simple difference, it changes your behavior completely. The poor and middle class tend to spend their money on liabilities first, things that just drain their income. But the rich, they use their income to acquire assets. And then those assets generate even more income, which they use to buy more assets. And you can see how this creates this powerful, self-sustaining cycle of wealth. This leads to what might be the book's most controversial idea. The biggest trap isn't just buying liabilities. It's buying liabilities that you think are assets. That house you live in, the car you drive, if they are costing you money every single month without putting any back in your pocket, then from this perspective, they're liabilities, not assets. Realizing that can be a huge shift in how you see your own finances. So we've seen how they think about school and how they spend their money, but what's the end game? What is the ultimate why behind each of these different strategies? For Poor Dad, the goal is security, and he finds that in a steady paycheck. It's predictable, it's safe. But for Rich Dad, the goal is something else entirely. It's freedom, the point where your assets are paying for your entire lifestyle, which means that work suddenly becomes a choice, not a necessity. And according to Rich Dad, the path to that freedom is really this simple two-step shift in thinking. First, stop focusing only on working for money. Then, step two, start focusing on making your money work for you. It's about going from being an employee of your money to being its master. All right, finally, let's talk about the one mental switch that really underpins this entire philosophy. It's a tiny change in the words you use that can completely rewire your brain to see opportunities instead of just obstacles. Just listen to the difference here. I can't afford it. It's a statement. It's a full stop. It basically tells your brain, okay, problem solved, stop thinking. But how can I afford it? Well, that's a question. That's a challenge that forces your brain to get creative, to start searching for solutions, and to open up possibilities. And that's really the ultimate lesson here. Wealth doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your mind. The whole journey begins not with a certain amount of money, but with the quality of the questions you're asking yourself every day. So that really just leaves us with one final thought. The next time you face a financial goal that seems totally out of reach, which voice do you hear in your head? Is it the one that closes the door? Or is it the one that starts looking around for the key? The answer to that, well, that might just define your entire financial future.